Ken Kaneki in Tokyo Ghoul. Now, Ken Kaneki, one of my all-time favorite anime and manga characters. He's a tragic hero. He's been through a lot, and it's really interesting to see how many different faces Ken Kaneki has had throughout the run of Tokyo Ghoul. Now, obviously, when he started, he was a very timid, little sweetheart kind of guy. He had, nothing going on in his life. I think he was in college at that point, first year or something like that. His life was very simplistic. Obviously, rapidly it changed. He was with an eye patch all of a sudden. He had these cravings and stuff like that, and that's where he first became, half ghoul, half human. Then we got white-haired Kaneki, or known as Shirokenki, which pretty much was the culmination of torture, centipedes, some argue sexual abuse, based on a couple of different things that was found out about Jason and whatnot. Not only his sexual preference, but what he's actually into with his sex life or whatever. So a lot of people said that possibly even Jason crushed or did some disgusting things to Ken's genitals, and I'm being dead serious. I've heard quite a bit of a deep analysis on that. Really interesting stuff, and very sad and tragic, because Ken Kaneki, if you follow the story, then you know many different things about this character from even before Tokyo Ghoul started. This guy already had a horribly PTSD-filled life. His mother used to beat the shit out of him for no reason, torture, abuse the crap out of him, and then, of course, everything that happened in the series. That's bad. The guy is a tortured soul. So, again, white-haired Kaneki, where he was tortured into that. His hair, out of stress, turned white. Really, really crazy. One of my favorite faces of Ken Kaneki. But could you argue that that's him? Is that who Ken Kaneki is? I'm not really sure. Then, towards the end of the series, obviously, he started eating other ghouls and started really powering up. And he had that incredible Kakaju form where he lost it and he was just fighting the Kakaju form. Kakaju? I don't know how to pronounce it now, but that form was absolutely insane. Again, that's not necessarily a different face of Kaneki, but that was him drifting into madness. Then, eventually, we had the end of the series of part 1, where it looked like Ken was dead. Obviously, the new series begins and Ken is back, but this time he's under the name Sasaki Haise, and he is suffering from amnesia. Sasaki Haise, in my opinion, is the furthest face and mind of Ken Kaneki and the reality of who and what he is than any other form of Ken. And you know why? Because 1, the real Ken wasn't there. 2, it was all brainwashing, manipulation, completely relaxed. I think Sasaki Haise is ideally the ideal world, the ideal life, the happiness that Ken seeks ultimately. I think that little facade that he had going on for those years where he didn't know who he was and he thought these people were like family and he had a little thing going on there, it was interesting to see, but ultimately that's just wishful thinking. It happened or whatever, but that's what Ken wished his life could be, would be, should have been. Obviously never happened. Now we don't know how Tokyo Ghoul is gonna end, if he'll finally have a happy moment. I believe Sui Ishida, writer, did say that he didn't want Ken to have tragedy again. I might be mistaking it with Berserk though, but something there. Hopefully Ken doesn't end in tragedy. So we had that point. Eventually Sasaki Haise broke down. Ken came back and he was rocking that body for a while. Pause. And then things kept on moving. We had Akaneki, where that's not necessarily a different face, but it was a change in his attitude again. He was more inspector than ever, seemingly, and he had the glasses and he was talking garbage. He was like, why should I save a piece of trash like you? That was another milestone in Ken Kaneki's personality. How you go from I'm scared to even say hello to girls to why should I save a piece of trash like you? A huge change in development. Arguably, would you say it's great character development? I'd say it's different, because it's not like he mastered that in some form of, a regular setting or anything like that. It was torture that got him there, and ultimately, even that wasn't him. The greased back hair, the one-eyed king. None of that, in my opinion, is Ken Kaneki. The man that is Ken Kaneki, honestly, is a tortured soul seeking happiness. Out of all the faces, you need all these faces, and it's one reason why Tokyo Ghoul is a notch above many, many series that I talk about and review on this channel, because Ken Kaneki is a diverse character with so many different layers that each and every character that we've seen him portray represents a piece of who he is. He is timid by nature. He doesn't want to fight. He doesn't want conflict by nature. At the same time, by nature, he was groomed and beaten so bad, You know what they say, the abused become the abusers. He was abused. He want to hurt people to get back at the world for what it served him, the terrible life from being abused to being half ghoul and having all these terrible problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you want to fight back at one given point. The white-haired is the absolute insanity of the situations that Ken deals with on a daily basis. That's the absolute max of taking a human being that is a good human being and torturing them to the point where what does anything matter anymore? That wasn't Ken either, honestly. Like, it's a part of him. It's the, you push me beyond my limits, I'm gonna fucking destroy you. But it's not Ken. Like I said earlier, Sasaki is absolutely the furthest from Ken. That's what Ken wished he could be, but never could because of all the problems already that was set forth before that. He was never a normal inspector to begin with. He had people looking out for him like Akira. He had a friendship with Juzo. You know, you had Arima as a father figure. But again, that wasn't reality as well. And all of the other forms, Kaneki, the savagery or whatever, I think those are chain reaction responses to Ken's situations. It's almost as if a defense mechanism unlocks within Ken whenever he gets pushed to the limits, whenever he has to do things he doesn't want to do. It reminds me very heavily of a character from Yu Yu Hakusho, Sensui, with all the personalities he had. He would always make a new personality to treat a situation or take care of a situation to leave the core of who he is feeling pure. It's very, very twisted in the head, but it definitely reminds me a lot of what Ken's going through right now. It reminds me of, or what he's been going through throughout the whole series for that matter. He's created a new persona unconsciously, you know, not unbeknownst to him, to fit every situation because he's been pushed those ways. Ken is a mentally damaged person, I feel as though because of all of the trauma from everything, he is not a sane person to the point of just being level-headed. He's been through hell. Yeah, Ken is a great person. You see, even the kids like him, you know, people love him, his crew love him, everybody, you know, really puts him on a pedestal, but he's not all there. He's been through hell and back, and I think at the end of the day, Ken is just a sad dude that just doesn't understand why the world has to feel so unfair, and why do good people have to go through bad things, and why do I have to always try my best to protect the ones I love? Why I gotta be me? Why is the weight of the world on my shoulders? A lot of depth to this character, Ken Kaneki. So you could argue this one is really him. You could argue Shirokenki really represents it, but honestly, without each and every face that he's developed, we wouldn't know who Ken Kaneki is. This is one of those characters where we know a lot about him. You could argue too much because we've seen what he becomes when he needs to go to a certain situation. He will be a suave, glasses wearing motherfucker. He'll be a bloody hair psycho. He will be a white haired nut job. He will be a timid, you know, there's so many faces to him, but it's all him. That's my analysis of Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul throughout, you know, chapter 1 of the original series, throughout the sequel, I'm kind of curious what you guys think about this discussion in regards to who is Ken Kaneki. Do you feel as though one of the faces that he has had throughout all of Tokyo Ghoul is truly him? Do you feel as though maybe episode 1, chapter 1 Ken is who he is and everything else is just a manifestation of, hey, I'm going through a living nightmare? Then you ain't gotta argue. What about the trauma he faced before that? Is that timid character that he put on there a result of what happened to him beforehand, and that's not even him either? So there's a lot of situations again and, you know, circumstances that have made him what he has become today, and it makes me wonder, who is Ken Kaneki? Is it one of those? Do you need all of them to make Ken Kaneki? I guess you could argue Haise isn't necessary, although again, that's what he wishes he could have had, and he never had the opportunity. He was in a shitty situation from jump and because they didn't trust him. He was half ghoul. There was so many problems with him from the beginning, so he couldn't ever get that even if he wanted to. And if you think about it, that's even more tragic, to dangle a life that you wish you could have and almost live it for a bit and have it ripped away and realize it's not reality. Then again, Ken for a while knew that it wasn't reality. He remembered things throughout time as the series was progressing in the sequel, Tokyo Ghoul Re. And just your overall thoughts of all this, I wanted to talk some Tokyo Ghoul. It's been a bit, and Ken Kaneki is one of my all-time favorite characters in anime and manga. It's crazy to see everything that he's been through thus far with all the forms, and he'll probably continue. We see he's damn near like a Godzilla the last time I read it a couple months ago. I gotta catch up again, but Ken Kaneki, regardless of what, at the end of the day, he's just a man that wants to be happy. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna leave it at that. That's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Sometimes I'd be right in your face and hit like Genjutsu and play. That's how it be though. Nothing but great effort just to get a C though. Eyes watching but we never seem to be though. Even when stakes are high we never seem to meet yo. It's always please yo, never satisfied though. What the fuck I gotta do to get by though? No matter how much I seem to fucking try though. At times I really wanna motherfucking die.